Welcome back to the Navigational Safety Bylaw draft Navigational Safety Bylaw hearing. You all enjoyed some fresh air and it's my intention to approach things in this manner. If anybody's got suggestions to improve that, that's absolutely fine. But I'd quite like to cover off the main themes that the panel have identified. Check with the staff that that's also their main themes, and if there's anything we missed, and then we'll work through those topics in chunks rather than in the submissions individually. We'll do that later. So if everybody's okay with that, we'll get started. Welcome to Millis, thanks for staying. The main themes that I've got, and my colleagues will chip in if there's anything else, were the reserved areas, which relates to Bluff and some of the Jet Boat New Zealand submission, speed uplift areas, and the speed restrictions within those and the timing of those. There were several submissions, and not necessarily in the spoken ones today, but in several of the submissions discussed delegated authority. So I think we just need to cover that off properly in conversation. And there's also several mentions of a day skipper's licence, and although the staff have given their recommendations, I think we should discuss those. The Bluff boat ramp particularly, and to a small degree the inclusion of the comms equipment, but I'd particularly like to discuss the points that Mr. Rowton made about his club and their I just want to check that their higher order regulations from the governing body are actually the higher order. We just might need to just work through that at some stage, and perhaps Michelle, you might have some guidance on that too if staff we need it. Colleagues, is there anything else on your lists? Some of those like reserved areas speed up after a big chunky bits anyway. So if there's anything else that came from the broader submissions that you think we should cover off?
No. Yeah, the uplift areas is within view. So.
Yep, sure.
So the situation around Tina's speech on that Tianao and whether there should be an expansion of the speed area there to include the walk, and what to do about that boat launching ramp, and whether or not people should be allowed to launch boats from there or not, because that seems to interfere with what we got. What people want to do, the Makarura, we got from there in the ski boat, plane, sorry.
Yeah.
There seems to be some issues around there that we need to sort out.
Yep, so that's the reserved areas. Correct. Yep.
The jet boating club wants to have a greater use of the rivers for jet boating, for lifting up speed, and fishing game are concerned about some of those, but not all of them. So that's something we need to work through.
Are there any other smaller points from any of the other written submissions there?
Yacht club wanting to have more control over those moorings and things.
The toys.
So that comes under the boat ramp, right?
And opening up some parts of the lower reaches of the Uriti and the Albury to jet boating all year long. I think that's
Yep. Yeah, cool. All right. Staff, did you have anything else that is not covered off on that list of things?
No.
Right. Just while we've got Michelle there, two things, Michelle, before we let you go. Firstly, I wanted to check that your explanation this morning around the difference between, I've got to get this right in my own head now, our requirement to ensure navigational safety as opposed to the jet boat New Zealand's submission that it shouldn't, hang on, I've got it written down. Yeah, I can't find it. Oh, there we go. The submission is that the inclusion of speed uplifters for the purpose of ensuring maritime safety is for us, and theirs is unacceptably compromising safety. And my understanding from what you said this morning was that their reference, in your opinion, was with regard to the application for exclusions or what's the word I'm looking for? You know, a special permit for an event. So can I just get you to talk us through that again? And also maybe if you've had a chance to have a think about the hierarchy for that, Mr. Alton's powerboat club.
Yes, so just in relation to the Powerboat Club submission, I wasn't online for that submission, so I'm not sure in terms of the hierarchy what you are referring to there, but I am happy to assist. But yeah, I just require some further
Sure.
explanation from you as to what your questions are in that regard. But if you'd like me to address the speed uplift issue first.
Yep,
I can do that. Yes. So in terms of Jet Boating New Zealand's submission and their reference to uplifting the speed limit wouldn't unacceptably increase the risk to navigation safety, that is the relevant test when you are applying for a permanent speed uplift under the Maritime Transport Act. So that is a different process to this bylaw process, whereby someone would make an application to the council for a permanent speed uplift. That application itself is publicly notified and subject to consultation, and then the council considers that application and feedback received through consultation, and part of its consideration includes whether uplifting the speed limit from the 5 knots would unacceptably increase the risk to navigation safety. So that is a process that is actually available to Jet Boat New Zealand if through this process the council determines that it's not appropriate to include these speed uplift areas in the bylaw itself. There is still that option for Jet Boat New Zealand to make that application. It would be publicly notified, and then there is an option there for those permanent speed upliftings.
Thank you. To the Mr. Ralphin's point was that the yacht club, no, powerboat club, sorry, adhere very closely to the governing body's rules, which are, in his view, all about safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and set by, I'm assuming themselves, but I don't know whether there's an act that they that would fit under. And so I just wanted to check, for example, if there was an incident, which would be the reference point that investigations or whatever would be judged against.
Yes, so there would be, if there was an incident, obviously the yacht club's governing rules would be relevant to them in their own internal investigations of what has occurred there. But the provisions in the bylaw would also need to be complied with, and likewise the relevant provisions in the maritime transport rules that would be applicable as well.
Right, so they sit alongside each other, as do many, as do many in this space, actually, as far as, you know, biosecurity things and whatever. So, yep, oh, that's fine. That's much more clear. Anything else from you two for that, for Michelle? Great, thanks, Michelle. Really appreciate your time.
Great, and do let me know as you work through if there's anything I can jump back online for to assist.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so going back to my list. Colleagues, in your view, is it better to consider the speed uplift areas before we consider the reserved areas? Because they naturally, pardon the pun, flow, or the other way around.
Well, I think we have to consider or not whether we need further consultation on those rules as recommended by staff, the ones in Appendix C. So I personally think that we should do that because it's quite a contentious area. And
Well, yes, it would be, my thought is that once we've determined what changes we want to make to the staff recommendation, that would be when we would decide whether it needed any public consultation. I think we should discuss those first, because we might decide that there's no need. Approaching things with an open mind and all that. So, okay, let's discuss the speed uplift issues first then, because they are many and varied. Staff, perhaps I might ask you to remind us of your recommendations in that.
Yes, in Appendix A.
Yeah.
Page.
Oh,
It's all.
yeah, Appendix A page.
Right.
Well, it starts from Schedule 1. Start at Riverton Harbour. That's where the field is. If we're talking about the areas.
Yeah. And that is page. Schedule 1 is page.
Actually, I think I didn't put the numbers on there. I do apologize.
No.
I think I did.
It's all right.
Part 7, part 5,
So the inland waters is
Yeah.
schedule 2, depending on what we're moving to. Yeah, halfway through.
So maybe I can just clarify a few things that have come through over
Yes,
the morning.
please. Yep.
So there were quite a few instances where new information or the submitted evidence for their request had been provided today. Just noting that some of these points are things that myself and Lyndon and the team haven't had the time to assess because we didn't have that information.
Sorry, can I get you to speak nice and loudly because the people behind you won't be able to hear you.
Yes. So for example, Voting NZ provided some new information compared to the submission, particularly the agreement between themselves and the White Bathers Association. We had not seen that before, but I did note that the Lower Matola request in that agreement was different to the Lower Matola request in the Appendix A one of their original submission. I think they, in the submission itself, they had requested from State 92 Bridge to the Sea, and the agreement was provided this morning. I think it's from Seaward Downs Bridge to the State 92 Bridge, but I can check that in a moment. So that's just one difference that we need to have a closer look at. Also, the map of the angling access between Osborne and Lumsden. We have not seen it before, but also notion that we didn't look at angling access during the bylaw review. Of course, the bylaw doesn't have control over where it can access the river. And just also in response to Mr. Cochrane's presentation, there's concerns around the staff recommendations and how those were written. In his original submission, all he provided was that there were more benefits and downsides to uplifting between Dipton and Lumsden. But the additional evidence he supplied today was not included. Neither was the request for an uplifting between Osborne and Lumsden. And I do apologise to the submitter if the wording in Appendix A in our response to his submission inferred any sort of allocation of activities that it wasn't intended. When we stated that the existing extending uplift between Dipton and Winton was sufficient, we were more meaning that sufficient to manage various activities along the river for maritime safety. Of course, we didn't have that evidence he provided today to inform that assessment further. He also referred to the next review being in 10 years. I just wanted to make clear that because this is a full review with a new bylaw, the next review within 5 years. We'll have, otherwise, if you'd like to go through the areas, because Appendix A broke down the areas as they came through the submissions, if that would be easier for.
Yeah, I think we need to do it by
like areas.
river.
Okay. Yes.
Essentially, yes, particularly because by river,
yeah,
because things affect each other. Upstream things affect downstream things. So yes, it does. And we might get some of those maps up on the screen. The main rivers of the main areas of contention, looking at Appendix C, are the Jacobs River estuary, the Waio, the Mararoa, the Aparima, the Riki, the Mipona, so all the rivers, and the Waikaia.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Jacobs River because it's at the front.
Yeah.
And we need to map up, or are you okay with them in front of you?
We can definitely do some.
Yeah, as long as the members can see as well. Yeah. So, of Jacobs River. It's hard to follow. Yeah, I just need to make sure I've got the submission, the right submissions in the right place. So are you suggesting we look at Milford Sound first? No, sorry.
It's Appendix C.
Yeah. So if we can start with Jacobs River estuary. Okay. So the submitters requests for this area, suggestions. So the right way to do those in your head.
Well, I think if we want to, with your, if we want to look at the all the submissions in relation to this, I think we need to go through the list of submissions. Would be easier because there are a number of people, while some people wanted the whole estuary open, there were some people that were opposed to that as well. So we need to look at their submissions as well as the ones that are
Sure. Oh, yeah,
that are start supporting this one, although this would be open to further consultation, which I agree with. And also it doesn't include the lower reaches of the Aparima River from Thornbury down to the estuary, which some submitters have asked should be open as well.
sure,
So,
okay. Let's do that.
it's I mean, I'm personally not too well. No, I would like to go through and look at all the submissions in relation to this area.
Yeah.
And their arguments, even though they weren't here today.
Yeah, of
so
course.
that we can get a good understanding of why it should be open or shouldn't be open. And that will apply to all these other areas too, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, all right. So that puts us on page something.
So Appendix A only includes requests and our response to them.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a summary of what every submitter had said on that topic, Appendix D,
Yeah.
the same layout you could find here.
Yeah.
The submissions.
It's just really, really little writing.
Can you put that on the screen, or is it better for us to look at it
Oh, I can go on.
Appendix D up, please.
in relation to this matter?
Just a second.
2.8 is the Hurricane.
Any purpose? But 2.8 is the Purakino River and 2.9 is the Aparima.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we've kind of gone all over the place. Apologies.
Oh,
See what we can do.
yeah, so 2.8.
Can you make the green frame but any bigger? Or is it?
No, I'm afraid I can't.
Yeah, no, dictated by the other bits that go around it. That's fine. We've got it in front of us as well, but it just means that the public can see and we can keep track of any changes we make. So that's, can you roll down to 2.9? Do you know which page? Or 2.8 maybe, that's the Purakino.
2.9, I think.
2.8, 2.9.
2.8 is Purakino, which
Yep.
is part of is upstream. I think.
Yeah. Still need
Need to come back to all of those.
okay, let's do the Aparima first. So 2.9, just remind me that we haven't done the Purakino yet. Leave big chunky ones if we can get them sorted, then they'll help sort the other ones. Yeah, so the next page, yeah, 2.9, that's it. Right. So, first two submitters were neutral and requested no changes. Wings and Watatiano, in relation to this particular part, had supported it. Correct. And so did Mr. Carter. Submitted 5 was the same. Submitted number 7 opposed it as it stands. Wanted the speed uplift removed on the Aparima River. Any comment about that? So the first request, Marine Solutions supported it. Dallas Templeton submitted 13. Was suggesting that 5 knot area along both Purakino and Aparima rivers where the whitebait stands are. Any comment? No?
And that could be seasonal, I suppose. Maybe have a restricted 5 knot area.
Yeah.
Would that be seasonal?
The next lot were neutral with comment. So Mr. Owen, who spoke to us this morning, was seeking a new permanent uplift between the Riverton and Toto Road and Riverton Bridge for all year. And it's not working in my head. I'm so sorry. This is not working in my head.
Maybe if I could help.
Yes,
some of
please do.
These, I think that there is general either neutral submissions or support. There are some that oppose.
Yep.
Kenton, Lewis, Hayward, Bardell. Others oppose for slightly different reasons, but their one is because they think people might get killed. Christopher Owen wants it open. Fish and Game, they don't want it open during the fishing season or the start of the duck feeding season, I think. Proposed up the period avoids a full fishing season, 1st of October, 3rd of April, and most of the game season. So they are happy for that to be open at those times outside of the main part of the game shooting season and the fishing season. Jet Boating Club, I think it should be open. And then we've got Emma Gould, who might occur during the whitebait season. Stephen Vile is the same. And Carol Elder too, I think. So while there are 2 or 3 submissions in opposition, most are in support, or at least to be open during outside of the fishing season and the main part of the duck shooting season. And the whitebaiting season is from October and November now, so it would be closed during that time as well.
I'm getting
That coincides with the fishing season.
I'm getting that a little bit confused because you're saying most people in support is actually the opposed ones that are saying they oppose it because they want the uplift, but not during the seasons. So that's what you're saying is support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
So that's what I'm saying.
With exceptions.
Oh,
So there is a lot of submitters that have asked that uplift remain except during seasonality.
Okay, so before we go any further, my 2 concerns with any of this is that we need to keep it as simple as possible so people are not confused, us and the users. And secondly, that this is about navigational safety. So I want us to keep those things in mind. I appreciate that the people who are generally affected by this bylaw know the bylaw quite well and have been using it, for want of a better term, really well, because it didn't necessarily seem to be broken. There are opportunities for improvements, obviously. So I want us to keep simplicity in mind while we work out whether there will be temporary speed uplifts or blanket speed uplifts. I'm assuming that would be better for the staff to be able to implement something simple.
Yes, emphatically your thoughts on.
So can we be clear that most people are in support of some speed uplifts generally, but there are some seasonality issues and in one or two cases some spatial issues. I got that right? So in some cases people are asking for speed uplifts in areas that may or may not be challenging. And but mostly it's actually about the timing, isn't it?
Yeah, the seasonality is a safety thing as well, because you've got people on the road at those times.
Yeah.
And it's the safety side of it. We're looking at the navigational safety bylaw, safety bylaw. So, and uplift is fine, but seasonality to predict.
Yeah, and I guess my question to staff is if there are times of the year when the speed uplift does not apply or does apply, how difficult is that to monitor, police, enforce?
But it can be quite challenging, small team, large area, but generally, and I know Jeep Boating New Zealand, they've always welcomed us along to their runs to observe and to see how the uplifts have run. So I think because the actual temporary speed uplifts, we have a calendar and we know exactly when they're going to take place, because Jeep Boating New Zealand are quite good in supplying that to us, that information to us. So we can plan that around our normal work schedules to have somebody there to monitor.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for us is that it's because the speed uplifts are for the applicant, and we need to make sure that we have it on occasion. Other people that are not part of the run, take part. So
and I assume that the biggest complication is the casual user who may or may not be from the area, not being cognizant of the restrictions or lack thereof.
So one of the requirements for the applicant to advertise in the paper, and it clearly states there that it's for the applicants, for the club that is applied for the speed uplift and them only.
So if it's not for an event though, if it's for one of these other areas where is that, how hard is that to police and monitor and
for the annual ones, the permanent speed uplifts that are already in place, very difficult. Like one, we don't have a vessel to access a lot of these river systems. All our council boats are all pretty much propeller driven and not suitable for river conditions. So we have an idea where all the launching points are, but that's probably all we can do is go to those launching areas and monitor.
Actually, up to this point, we're very fortunate that people are generally taking good personal responsibility in this area. Generally. Okay, I think I'm getting my head around this. So what I need to be clear about for the Aparima, for example, is those seasonal timeframes and making sure that if we're suggesting those, that they are the right times, so they fit with the advice from our submitters and from staff. So I don't want to be saying, so-and-so says June, but somebody else says July or whatever. So when we go away from here, I guess that's something that we need to cross-check.
Well, Madam Chair, I hate to repeat myself, but I think that the staff have recommended that we further consult on this matter and the other matters that are contentious, other upliftings, and if we try and resolve the issues here, then we'll be repeating that in the future. So I would recommend that we leave the discussion on all these contentious issues, the ones that are identified in Appendix C, so that they can be sent out for further consultation, and that at that time, we'd have to recommend this to council, and at that time when we receive those further consultations and the further report from the staff, we'll be in a better position to understand all the issues.
True there.
And have a wider input, because to be honest, there hasn't been a lot of people who've made submissions and affected. So
no, I understand your point now.
Otherwise, I think we would spend all afternoon.
Going around in circles already. No, I understand your point now. I guess my reasoning was that it would be quite good to have some guidance, but maybe we better not do so. Councillor Evans, are you okay with that if we actually leave it with the appendix B, which is the
so Schedule 2 Map 2.1 shows it as
the
speed uplifted area seasonality.
but the consultation document rather than
and B is back in A and C.
okay. Sorry, submitters. Thank you for your patience as I get my head completely around this. So Appendix C, particularly, identifies the things that we would come back and talk about. Okay. Yes, okay. So, are we in agreement that some of these things need further community consultation, which would give the new evidence that you highlighted today could actually come back to us in that next consultation process properly, so that it's not tacked onto the side, which we shouldn't really do.
Sorry, I'll just so the Appendix C, that's only consultation on 10 new areas. If there was new information that was provided on the other topics that wouldn't be covered in the presentation.
So you just want to be clear, especially for the people in the room, that the further consultation would relate to Jacobs River estuary, and the mouth and the Waio and specific areas, the Mararua, the Aparima, for the bridges and lower reaches, the Riti, the Matilda. So just want to make sure that give me a nod, even though that you've seen this document, or you won't have seen it yet. So that's what we will cover off.
Public consultation.
Yes. So
It'll give great opportunity for
you'll
say.
You'll be able to give a more detailed submission if you so wish.
Just for completeness.
And I have to find the recommendation. Yes.
Can I ask the staff to give us a justification for the need to do this further consultation? because I think that's important. Some people might not think that's needed. Further consultation?
Yes, yeah, so we had recommended further consultation only on new food uplifted areas that if they were accepted, remove that speed limit in places where it hasn't been moved before. Except for temporary events, and temporary events there's things like safety plans and monitoring that can occur with a blanket uplift that doesn't occur as you mentioned. Something we also considered was how well we already knew the views of the community in relation to these new areas, and the views of the wider community are well known, which is another reason for that information.
Yeah.
So the recommendation is, and we, that it undertake consultation on proposed amendments set out in Appendix C, which is what I just showed you. That would benefit from further consultation, and just to reiterate what Jess has already said, we're not required to consult any further, but in the interests of the potential impact of the changes and the influence of those and the importance of those, we can choose to consult. So it does slow down the process quite a lot, but that doesn't matter actually, because we're not in a hurry necessarily. We're not time bound. And to be clear, any further consultation has to go, the decisions from today, recommendations from today go to council, and then they ultimately decide whether it's suitable and appropriate for further consultation. And then the consultation happens, and then we will reconvene the hearing at that point and then make any further recommendations, which are then taken back to council again.
Just on those points.
Just on those points. So just so that you're all aware of the process, that is the process, and that is why the potential effects are why we think we need to further consult on those changes only, not the rest of it. So are we okay with that? Councillor Evans, Councillor Broadway? Yeah, great. Okay, so you have to remind me when we start going through the rest of it that if anything pops up that's in Appendix C that we can park it. Okay, the other recommendations we've got actually are a wee bit.
Appendix A, maybe we should go for Appendix A.
Yeah.
The staff.
Yeah. So let's go through Appendix A, which is the one with the staff recommendations. Okay. I think we'll just start at the beginning and work our way through, right? And not be distracted by something else.
So we have this up on the screen.
Yes,
for-
1 second.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your patience and understanding, everybody. It took us a wee bit to get to that point. Yes, we are. Yes. So we
Make it a start.
yeah, so we want Appendix A actually. One with staff recommendations. Draft bylaw.
These are.
Yeah, so we've got A and B kind of side by side, hopefully.
Yeah.
In front of us. Keep interrupting. So going through Appendix B, the first thing that's been recommended as changed is the definition of act. Oh, no, excuse me. And that's just an inclusion of the relevant local government act. So, sorry, Sabine, we're all over the place.
Yep, I'm just trying to see if I can have.
Yeah, that's
That's
all right.
going
We've got Appendix A in front of us. So if you could put a B up, maybe that's the most helpful. The question I had actually is on page 7 of that report.
Sorry, was that page 7 of appendix B?
Yeah, sorry. We are sticking to Appendix B. Well, A alongside. Yeah, so we've included jet ski.
Yeah.
And I can see it's been pretty consistently included there. I did find myself having a thought this morning that was there any other thing other than a jet ski that fitted that needed to be added, like a, oh, no.
As in to aid an understanding of the.
Well,
Mental.
to another, is there any other thing that's a personal watercraft that's
No, that's
not a jet ski?
It's consistent with how the other regions are.
Right. Yeah, and reading the fact that it has to be a fully closed hull and all that stuff makes that clear, right? Okay, great. We haven't had any other definitions choose, which is great. I have to say, before we go any further, that this format of the bylaw is way easier than the old format.
Yes, that's good.
General matters, no changes there. Are we happy with that explanatory note? Gentlemen?
Yeah.
Person in charge of the vessel.
This came up a fair bit in the submissions, but a lot of it's outside of our reach. With regard to the licensing.
I guess that's the piece about day skippers licenses and things and stuff that could you just explain why they are not an option for us?
This is something, a decision around vessels to be licensed or registered, and what fits behind that as well in terms of boating qualifications needs to be driven by central government, Ministry of Transport. They are the ones that will either drive this from the central government view. Generally, all the regions are the same. We're really frustrated. We don't have any tools in our toolbox to actually do this, and we don't think that the bylaw is the appropriate way to do it.
Enforcement would be challenging in the region. Okay, thank you. And that covers off a number of those submissions and your explanation. That part, the personal flotation devices. Now we had a submission regarding replacing shall with must.
Oh, yes.
And Councillor
Yeah.
Rodway, you had you had something, Councillor.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I think this is a submission from a staff member from Harley and relates to parliamentary or government requirements.
Yes.
So I just reading through the whole document, I thought that while it's been changed in some places, that may be other places where it should be changed. And I wondered whether staff should go through that again and make sure that it's consistent all the way through rather than dealing with it now. It's a technical matter. It's no great importance to the submitters, I guess, but it is something we need to get right.
Yeah, the 5 that were changed through the staff submission that you referenced, they were only changed because that was the feedback we got from the Ministry of Transport. So they were clauses that are drafted as infringement offences by the Ministry and have that associated fee that we had previously discussed. Although that document sits outside of this process, so not all clauses in the bylaw is an infringement offence. That their advice to us was the ones that are use the term must to make that clear, because it's their position that that's best practice when they're drafting the same clause as the infringement regulation.
That's
So you're
really clear.
satisfied that the changes that have been made in this document we have here, like that one here,
Yes,
all it's needed and no others are needed to be changed.
yes, it was only those 5 that didn't have the word
Alright.
must, yeah. Other clauses that you shall mainly use it because that's how the equivalent maritime rule is written, yeah.
Yeah, great. So the important thing is that we're consistent with any other legislation that applies. So, and there'll be a double check
Of course.
after.
I like your explanation.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you. So that's personal flotation devices. There are some exceptions, and there's been a removal of which may on next page.
Grammatical
Yep.
reasons, I think.
Yep.
It's fine.
So section 8, the minimum age for operating powered vessels. The Powerboat Club requested, oh no, they requested
Exemption.
exemptions for drivers, and
And
that's
it's in there,
it's in there already.
so that's fine.
Yes, go you. Okay. Speed of vessels. Currently, the Powerboat Club requested clarity of the areas, but that will be surely in there anyway.
Clause 4.1 provides for temporary reservations.
So vessels to be seaworthy, most of that is pretty consistent. Collision prevention is number 11. And given that we've had no submissions on these topics, we can't introduce new things. So please don't think we're just glossing over them. We actually, it's outside the scope of what we're allowed to do. Section 12, the notification of accidents, incidents or mishaps. And there's another couple of instances of must. And I think that answers the Southland Powerboat Club's.
Yes, yeah, they were just more asking a question on obligations to notify.
Yeah. And that's pretty clear, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Very much so.
Okay, part 3. Oh, we're
Whizzing through it.
whipping along now.
Stop it.
Yeah, I've seen it now. It's too late. Part 3, the reserved areas and restrictions. I'm pleased to see that the defence purposes has been added into section 15 as part of the New Zealand Defence Force submission. Yes, there are quite a few grammatical and spelling challenges that we'll cover later.
Check all those.
Yes,
You don't need to go through each one.
I've got a list, so I can sort those out with you later. Place, good. So section 16, the access lanes.
Which is good reason at the end, recommend the access lane be removed due to navigation safety concerns. And it's at the surprise bag.
Yeah.
Recommend for it.
So as it stands in the modified draft, that fits, does it not?
I'm happy with that.
Retain access lane at Surprise Bay.
You-
Yeah, okay. Are we happy with that, Councillor Rodway, that submission's been?
There's nothing, there's nothing in the report about Surprise Bay, is there an explanation for that?
In
That was some of the
appendix
submissions,
B,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of
yeah,
the submissions.
Surprise Bay, the access lane is not in the appendix B, as that was our recommendation to have it removed. It was removed from the notified draft as well. So that's feedback
Okay.
on that. Yeah.
Great, yep, that's what works, thank you. 17, there's nothing. 18. Fairly straightforward, number 18, surely. 19's another must come line for minimum requirements. 20 is the speed uplifted areas. Now, here we get a wee bit tricky. Oh, and thank you to the JBNZ for noting the numbering error.
Yeah, that's been done.
That's good. Safety is good. Part 4. Communications equipment. There are no recommended changes here, but it was raised by Powerboat Club and the Waka Ama, although they're there's an interesting case actually. I wonder what stuff we've got to say about the Waka Ama not being able to have on-board things but having people near.
Yes, yep, so we hadn't made any adjustments to what was drafted because the situation that they described is already allowed for in board model, so they can have a cell phone each, or if they're close to the shore, they can use voice or whistle or something like that. So their concerns were already addressed really in what was drafted.
Yes,
Yeah.
I felt the same, and that answers the Mr. Roten's
Yes.
points this morning as well.
Yes, their support vessels would comply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So I'm going to contact them and we can explain that. So okay,
Yes.
they don't need to worry.
Yes, yeah.
Which means obstructions, the use of vessel engine around wharves and ramps.
I've only got a debit, it's
Thank you, because I didn't know either.
23.3, a list of different things. Debit, I don't know what that is.
A debit is very much like a high ebb. It's like a high ebb.
Yeah.
But a debit is more for winching loads on and off the boat.
Oh, okay. Right,
That's usually fixed.
Yes.
oh, yeah.
I initially read it as divot, but I thought I'm in the wrong sport entirely.
Yeah, no.
Good eye. Number 25 is the maintenance of maritime facilities. No changes there. 26 is navigational aids. Nothing there. 27, sound and light. I did have a question on, maybe it comes up later. Yeah, maybe it is. Okay, so it's just a must and shall, and the powerboat clubs. That's covered off anyway, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, they
Yeah.
can use the red flashing lights, yeah.
28 and 29, no submissions on either of those. 30, swimming, diving and related activities around wharfs. Invercargill City Council. Did we didn't add a commercial jetty? Definition.
To the definition, so.
No, we didn't because commercial applied to like jetty wharf and quay, so it wasn't just to commercial jetty, and that was in their submission. But the sentence is in full.
Okay.
D.
And perhaps if we delegate that authority, that's their concern, not ours.
We're talking about the navigational safety part.
Okay.
With regards to a commercial.
Yeah, it was just the definition for them so that they,
Mm.
but that might be more their problem than ours.
Yes.
Okay, great. Dive operations, no changes there. 32, the open water swimming. Yes, I was interested in the note that the submitter made that actually the right kind of swimming caps to keep you warm don't come in bright colours. But that's outside the bylaw. But I thought that was interesting. And there's a maybe it's later.
But it was more than just a cap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swimmable.
Are we comfortable with the between sunset and sunrise? We must tow a lit safety float. Yes.
I can be a brave person.
So,
Um,
so Tammy Magnus, Tama Fogarty, Marine Solutions New Zealand, and Town Open Swimmers.
Yes.
All submitted on that.
and two retentions agree and accept.
And we made whatever changes we are appropriate, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see a submission from the users that would
Yeah.
apply to. So that was very good, and it was good that we noted it.
That's fine, most of those submissions.
I did wonder if at night time, the nighttime funny thing, that the thing you have to attach to yourself has got lights on, right?
Yes.
Yes. Because it would be kind of pointless otherwise.
Not Portland starboard lights, just a light.
Yeah, oh well. 35 is anchorages under anchoring and mooring. Moorings, yeah, we did hear this morning. Oh, so many different things.
Is needed, right?
So the Rakura community have opposed some of those.
Yeah.
Is the change there? Does that address those submissions?
The change under 35.1B just made the position more clear. So they had concerns that, they had asked that if a mooring had failed and the harbour master had set the standard for that mooring, that the responsibility is back on Environment Southland. The bylaw had addressed liability further in the bylaw, but we had added that amendment just after the legal advice to make it more clear to people using the bylaw. But that position exists without that amendment.
And so they've asked for more consultation. Is that wouldn't be something in the bylaw, but is that something that we can do?
Consultation, yeah. Consultation on new moorings, mooring areas, and mooring exclusions. Most of that is covered under the coastal plan. So there's very limited that we can do right now. But if a mooring is sought through the bylaw, that can be something that could be addressed. But mostly it's done through the RMA at this time.
Assuming that will still apply under the new chapter, coastal chapter.
That's right. Yes.
Right. So I'm just concerned that they are, they're asking to be notified and consulted on the changes and things. And if we do that and we just get them involved, and they're not going to get unhappy with doing something they're not aware of.
Yeah. I can.
Whatever under the RMA or the coastal plan.
Yes. Yeah. With new moorings, because it's submitted activity, it's a little bit difficult to notify the board if a new mooring is put in. When it comes to things like the mooring areas and the exclusion zones, they exist under the current coastal plan. So it would be envisioned that they would be consulted on when those were looking to change through that process.
Thank you.
The Bluff Yacht Club this morning, were requesting, and they have supplied us with, their map. And I'm wondering actually whether my colleagues feel that that should be included in the further consultation.
Yes.
Of Appendix C,
Hear about that, yes.
or whether you want to make a decision.
Yeah, probably, because it would affect a lot of other people who probably wouldn't be aware of their request. People that do, I don't know, boys and boys and crop pots and all that sort of stuff. So if that's possible, I would support that idea. To include that in the stuff for further
Can we do that?
consultation.
In Appendix C.
Mhm.
The issue is more around what the reserved area is intended to do. Reserved areas under the bylaw are pretty black and white, so it would affect other activities that happen within Bluff Harbour. I do have the map. I think they were referring to this, is it this green box that they were wanting for sailing activities? If the issue was around the storage of crate pots and things like that, there are provisions in the bylaw for the harbour master to address that through enforcement. And I think that the submitter had noted that this morning as well. If they can cause damage or harm, that is something that the harbour master can address through implementation of the bylaw as opposed to changing the bylaw.
But the other part was that the red area, they were requesting now and then for their events.
Well, they can apply for that through the special event provisions if they do need a reserved area.
And they noted that they'd had quite good conversations with the crate.
Great.
So your recommendation is that actually it doesn't need to go to further consultation because there are avenues through the bylaw for them to get it sorted already.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, especially when it comes to things like events.
But that general, especially that green area that they're using a lot.
For the pots, yes, that can be. Well, the bylaw itself can be enforced by them to the end of its team. I believe that's already in the existing bylaw as well. For the meantime.
So there's a communications piece that needs to go on with the notes for them then, so that they are aware of the pathways that they can take immediately for the green and the longer term for the red.
And if we can assist them with their process.
Yeah, they just need to be clear about.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Yeah. Okay. You both comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Apart from that, the recommended change is quite acceptable. In the Capital City Council, we're asking for the commercial passengers. I think that explanation's what it needs to say, doesn't it?
That's the police enforcement.
Yeah.
Existing rules already provide for that.
Right.
Right.
I can tell you that staff have been having conversations with ICC and helping them to manage that particular problem.
Right.
And it's more around putting up the right signage so that people know, for one, that they can't overnight there with their boats. They're there for extended periods of time, so we're proactively working with them.
Great. Well, that's, in my humble opinion, way better than having it written in a law. Great. Hazardous activities. No submissions on any of those, which is a comfort. Part 7's the Bluff Boat Ramp and Trailer Park. Oh, sorry, Hot Works. Yeah, there should have been there was a submission on that though. Nice. Sorry, I missed the red, would you believe? So the Bluff Boat Ramp and Trailer Park. Well, quite a lot of submitters on this topic.
I think it was probably a lack of understanding. Responsibility.
Yeah, well, that's understandable.
Which.
But I think the bylaw as it is recommended is clear.
Perfect. Yeah, that's fine.
Righto. Part 8 was administrative matters. Just going back a step, pleased to hear ICC representatives discussing their fees and charges and the capacity for club discounts or whatever this morning. So that answers the Bluff Yacht Club's question outside of this process. Right. Oh. One moment. Got a page out of order, or have I not got a page?
The change under 44.1.
Yeah.
Just going back to the submission from the community board around the moorings. It's just
Thank you. Yeah, that makes better sense.
Okay.
Thank you. So no other changes in 47, 48, 49. No submissions on any of those. Board powers. What? Is it open? Okay. So part 10, the savings and transitional provisions is just about the timing and the crossover of the bylaws, correct? Schedule 1, liquid orders. Number of numbering things that we will need to double check, but we can do that. Submission, oh yep. Right. Anything about the Milford Sound Pure Tahi map? No. These maps are way better, by the way. If I can read them, somebody who uses that area all the time should be able to read them. Delta Sound. Bays. Noting the inclusion of jet ski all the way through these. There are quite a few numbering things. So Taramia Bay, map 1.5. Oh, hang on, go back to it, sorry. So 1.4, the Riverton Harbour Aparima. Do you want to talk us through those changes, Jess?
So that first recommendation about James River Estuary, that's Appendix C, so we could skip that one because you've already addressed it. So we can go on the second one as well, considering the 5 knot speed limit within 200 metres either side of the Riverton Bridge. We had taken that into account in the wording for the further consultation, so that one had been addressed. The next one that we can address today is the next submission from staff about the reference that was carried over from existing bylaw on page 38 of
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Will that be
Yeah. So you've covered off all of those, haven't you?
Yeah, those ones about the Libertine Estuary are going up with further
Yeah.
information.
Boo. Area Bay, is that all part of jet skis?
So it's the area for
Yep.
water activity, not personal workout.
Yeah.
Yep. As a safety thing.
We've got 3 people strongly opposing the prohibition of jet skis there, but
Yeah, and that was interesting, Taramia Bay. Sorry, shuffling.
well, definitely a safety issue if they were allowed to jet ski in that area.
I would thought so.
Surfers and
Yeah,
Yeah, we can be happy with the staff recommendations.
yes,
Horseshoe Bay.
Horseshoe Bay. Oh, better, yeah. Any comments about that? Elliot? Horseshoe Bay, all right? Acknowledging the concerns, however. Patterson Inlet.
So, can we just go back to the Horseshoe Bay one?
Sure.
Because the Stewart Island Recreation Community Board
Indeed.
are opposed to that. They say there should be an access lane and speed uplifted area within 200 metres of the Horseshoe Bay beachfront area for water skiing related activities. Couldn't we do that?
not overly practical.
Yeah.
Enforcement is one thing. We're on the mainland, we're on Stewart Island, so it's observing and ensure best practice around ski lanes is being observed is key. To be honest, I've been over there, we've seen anybody attempting to water ski or so this is completely new to us, but I think in terms of enforcement it would be difficult.
Where would they launch their boats? And water ski, jet skis there?
There is a small ramp down in one of the corners of Horseshoe Bay.
Right.
You can launch there.
So they could launch it there and go out slowly to 200 metres and then do their stuff, couldn't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So it doesn't prohibit them from doing
No.
it, just they can't do it.
No, it's just going to do it a bit further out.
They just have to go a bit further out and drop their skier there, or tow the biscuit out and then
Okay. thank you.
You need a pretty good wetsuit, I would suggest. Really pleased to hear from the community boards right across about a number of things, so really good to have their input. Patterson Inlet.
No submissions on that.
Yeah, just Reinhardt Cove.
Helen,
An access lane and speed uplift area at Bravo Beach. You'll have to tell me where Bravo Beach might be, Lyndon.
so that's up near Big Bay, Big Glory Bay.
Oh,
It's up near that way where all the marine farms are, but it's more towards Golden Bay area. A lot of commercial traffic up through there. Once again, it's even worse than Horseshoe Bay in terms of being able to have the ability to be able to monitor it.
yeah,
And Horseshoe Bay, it's relative in comparison. Horseshoe Bay is quite sheltered in there, whereas it's not a great area. There's a lot of obstacles around the coast, water skiing, and there's just it's probably fraught with all sorts of issues.
I would wonder at the demand.
Right, because it's quite a remote area.
Yeah. Unless there's something else associated with marine farming that we are not thinking about. Would there be any other reason why they would need?
I think it's just a bit of a local thing out. I think
Right.
it's where they may go.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Right, inland waters, schedule 2. Noting a numbering change there and inclusion of jet ski.
No, Madam Chair, in the table 3 on page 48,
Mhm.
the last group there says areas reserved for swimming or passive recreation, and there are only 2 lakes mentioned, Lake Tiana and Mavora Lakes. There's no other. Why don't we have other lakes like Manapuri, for example, or Monowai?
It's just because, those lakes don't have a reserved area under the bylaw.
They don't have
A reserved area under the bylaw, so this is only where they're, through the, there's a area that has been reserved for swimming or passive recreation, like South Mora Lake or Stems Beach. That's the only 2 that we currently have in the bylaw.
but Lake Manapuri has a controlled area on it, no speech.
They only have a ski lane there.
Sorry,
They only have a ski lane
yeah,
on Fraser's Beach. There's no safe swimming area. And it is something that the community have talked about,
Right.
putting a swimming pontoon there. But as far as something like we're proposing for Steamers Beach, hasn't gone that far.
right, okay.
Right.
And there were no submitters asking for one of those, were there, on Fraser's Beach?
Oh, must have an opportunity.
Rightio.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it's a shame actually, because that would have been an opportunity to have it considered at the very least. Extend the safe swimming 200 metres out from the shore, so
That was the Steamers Beach one, yeah, that.
yeah, and that's going out for
So there was submissions on an extension of that past America
Mm.
yacht club walk, including the beach on the other side, because what were the reasons? It says here it was rejected. The proposed safe swimming area to extend 150 metres west of the boat ramp, 50 metres west of the. So what's the reason? Just for clarification, if I can.
So yeah, as you said, there were quite a few submissions that had requested that reserved area shown on the screen extended past that jetty.
Yeah.
And we did look at options to do that. However, it just sort of conflicts with what a reservation under bylaw does. So I said before they're sort of like black and white. So when we're putting an area where motorised vessels can't go and then putting it over a jetty, there is some conflicting uses there. And then we had some
Onboarding, offboarding.
yeah, and then we had some issues around how can the yacht club still continue their operations if you have an area where their vessels are prohibited. We did look at providing exemptions, but exemptions apply to a person, they don't apply to a club, and then there's issues with administering those and how many and who's enforcing those when they apply. Exemptions apply to a clause, so if an exemption was provided to a yacht club vessel, it will apply across the whole mapped area, not just use of the jetty.
So as a safety thing, sorry.
No, go for it.
So as a safety thing, looking at the Marikara Yacht Club on the true left there, when you're looking out, the concern was boats beaching there when you have a lot of users diving off the wharf,
Yeah,
swimming, recreational. Is there any way of having a separate area there that can be highlighted as not a recreational? It doesn't need to extend 200 metres. It could go 100 metres along the beach, sort of thing. Is there any room there to allow that to be included?
yeah. So you're asking if you could have a separate area to.
Yeah, another area to stop the boats.
Sabrina, can you go up to the new
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah,
A couple of pages on.
So
yeah, it's just on the next.
Sorry, Sabine. So
Yeah,
if
that
you're standing on the wharf to the true left,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a pinch point there that was raised by submitters
Mhm.
to say at busy times of year people are using that beach,
Oh, to launch, yeah.
and they're using that beach not only to beach on but also to boat off.
Yeah.
So and because the wharf is also a user, a swimming user area as well as the yacht club, there was some sort of implication here. Is there any way of putting in another area?
So for the area west of.
I would call it south.
South of the jetty, to put in a similar reserved area, yes, you could.
Not a big area, just something that stops vessels from utilising that part of the shoreline, powered vessels.
It would have to be tied to a safety risk. So if the
That's what was brought up
Yeah.
because there was users that were diving off the wharf, which is, come
yeah,
on, we know what that's like. It's madness in summer. So that's
but we would also have to think about the yacht club and their vessels as well, because then that would be in another reserved area on the other side of their jetty.
yeah. So what I'm saying is it's possibly only extend out the length of the yacht wharf, but go along
Okay.
beach further. So to stop.
Yes, so it's shorter. Yeah.
So because that's actually quite a good swimming area as well. It's quite sheltered.
Yeah.
Not include the wharf, but be 20 metres to the south.
Yeah, so sort of have your Stevens Beach area and then the jetty and the smaller area. South.
I'm watching Lyndon nod, so I'm just.
Two reserved areas. I understand what you're saying, Paul.
How
Is it a
practical
possibility?
is that?
How much is it?
Well, we've already been
Could we-
discussing in the office what we're going to require just to mark that main reserved swimming area off Steamers Beach.
Work
I
on
mean,
it.
there's no problem doing it. It's maintaining them, I suppose, at the end of the day.
I'm thinking of safety.
Yeah.
That's because if we're getting a submitter saying that a lot of vessels are using that at certain times of the year, which is close to a passive reserve area, and also an area where we're going to have sailing and such like, and a lot of the young people, a lot of people jump off the wharf, then it's probably ideally perfect time to look at incorporating something. And even if it's there, then it can be utilised by any member of the public to say, you're not going to be.
Are there any international examples how this can creatively be solved? Or national
there's
examples.
other regions have similar reserved areas for swimming. I don't think there's a similar example for this where you've got a wharf in the middle and it's dissecting
Yeah.
the reserved areas.
Would there be a danger that people were jumping off the wharf into the somewhat distant, but not very distant, little swimming area?
No.
Would that wouldn't be an issue?
Too far away.
You would want to set it off from the wharf,
Hmm.
25 minimum of 25 metres, which would allow access for the clubs.
Yeah.
To come and go and manoeuvre around and do that.
I completely understand what you're saying, councillor, but I'm a little apprehensive about having a lane in amongst, effectively a lane of the wharfing vessels, and down the middle.
Well, no, the passive recreational area is 50 metres from the wharf to the true right, which is quite a substantial margin, which gives the America Yacht Club quite a bit of leeway in actual fact. But I'm talking the true left or the south side. They've 20 metres from that wharf for an area so that we can protect the swimmers.
And I would even suggest that the 50 metres on the other side is quite a distance. You might not even need that. Once again, I think that 25 metres would be more than enough for boats to be able to either side to be able to come and go.
And we're not talking going out 200 metres. 20 metres.
Just for the little one.
Yeah, just for an isolation. Because then at some stage at a later date, a swimming pontoon could be put there for the little ones.
Are you think, Councillor Ridley?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I am persuaded by the submitters, and there's quite a few there who don't really, and they say there's going to be something bad happen if we don't make that whole area, especially including that jetty. The jetty is maybe put there for boats, but it seems that it's, from reading these submissions, it's mainly used for people to walk out on and jump on. So having a swim only area there, is what quite a few of them are asking for.
And within that, actually, the Wings and Water Tauno suggested non-powered.
Yeah.
Is that too much?
No, I don't think so. But I have also engaged with the yacht club there and suggested that because that wharf is there in the structure and they're allowing people to jump off there and swim, appropriate signage be there. That is a liability and a risk for the club.
Yeah.
For some of the reasons that you mentioned.
So, councillors, you're interested in having a swimming only smaller area. Correct.
There is quite a big area there already. I think this issue about the jetties, maybe that we could put it back on the yacht club and say, well, it's a danger to people jumping off there. We should have some signage up saying, warning people not to do that, even though they like to do it.
Let's do it at their own risk.
As I say, the submissions are quite strong from people who use the area a lot, so they must have a lot of knowledge about it. So we think we do have to. We've already got quite a lot there. That nice swimming area is quite big.
From there.
200 metres long, 200 metres out. I wouldn't like to say we've done nothing about it, but I don't know if you can think of some more things, that idea about warning people about jumping off the jetty. That's a dangerous thing to do. The yacht club still has to have their boats come to the jetty, don't they, to get in and out. So it's a difficult one. I'm sure that you've thought long and hard about it and taken account, listened to their submissions as well. I mean, we're coming up with our own ideas, but it's, you guys are the ones with the experience on how to manage these issues.
Little balancing act. Because I know there's going to be a lot of, if we do create safe swimming area, there's going to be a lot of people that are upset as well, because particularly locals that use that square beach.
Right.
So there's both sides of the fence.
So that's not in place at the moment.
We've got a better option there now for what else with 200 metres. So.
Well, and thinking back to the submissions this morning, the suggestion that the other launching point could be better utilised.
Sorry, you mean the boat ramp on the other side of
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
With the floating pontoon or whatever that was.
Oh, the blue gum point.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's some of the content in the reason for the submission we had received prior to the hearing. So particularly around that that pontoon idea. What's difficult is some of the requests get into how the lake is used or how people access the lake. The navigation safety bylaw more deals with activity on the lake, not how people get from the land to the waters. And most of the time, those facilities aren't provided by the bylaw or even Environment Southland, where people can access, create some difficulty.
Southland District Council, they upgraded all those ramps around there, so that one on the corner is, so the money was invested in upgrading that.
Yeah. So it's potentially an education issue rather than availability of space issue.
And our boating safety campaigns, we've developed a brochure particularly for flight plane and its operations, which we distribute at the boat ramps. Yeah, so you know, we're doing a lot of work there. We do recognise that it is an issue, and the only way that we can see the most practical solution is to educate people. That only goes so far.
Yeah. Indeed.
So you have responded to the submissions by providing a big safe swimming area. Is that true? You responded to the submissions by providing a big area of swimming?
Yeah, well, we had accepted recommended that the submission around extending it 200 metres out from the shore was accepted. The notified version was only 100 metres out from the shore. So there was that one. The only, the relief that we hadn't recommended be provided was including the jetty within that reservation.
Okay, I think we've given it a good airing actually, and appreciate that there are good reasons on both sides actually, but in the interests of simplicity and usability, I think probably the staff recommendations are the best one at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for navigational safety.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
we're doing about the safety side of things.
Yeah, it was really good to hear that the community gets together and helps with that stuff. That's great. Okay. Which takes us to the WIL's speed uplift, which we don't need to discuss at this point.
Some of the WIL was changes to the existing, so those aren't covered in.
Oh, right. Sorry. Have the ribbons. Sure.
It wasn't clear to me about the speed limit uplifting, if any, on the Waiau River between Lake Te Anau and the Manapuri Lake Control Structure, which is 20 kilometres long. I think we had a submission saying that should be allowed. There should be a speed uplifting there. So it's not shown on any maps except that one on Lake Manapuri, which extends down to Pearl Harbor only. And that's our 5 knot limit. So is it intended for the 5 knot limit to be in place for that part of the line?
Yeah, so between the Pearl Harbor and the control structure, there was that request to establish a speed uplift from Pearl Harbor to the Weir. That's covered in Appendix C, but the recommended wording started that speed uplift from Home Creek, not Pearl Harbor, because there's the structures and the access to the lake. So it gives that a bit of distance as 5 knots, and then it would go into the speed uplift area. if that was accepted.
Right, so the bit from the Home Creek Delta to the mandatory lake control structure is part of Appendix C for further
yes.
consultation.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
How far is the Home Creek from the ramp? There's a ramp further down that was Real Journeys, but now it's the boat club
Okay.
on the way up.
Home Creek Delta is further down.
Yeah, it was quite a distance. Yeah.
Distance,
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, I needed to have a line in my head, you know what I mean?
Understood.
Along with a lot of other things.
Just for the sake of our combined sanity, we might take a break at 3 if we feel. No, no, we probably will be. So the YO will be covered by the
Only the new ones. So
yeah.
um,
Anything else
what's
in there?
different in the existing one in Appendix B was the removal of the seasonal uplift from the Tuatapiti Bridge to the sea.
So she's open slammer.
Yep.
Yep. Be cool.
Is that
And
okay?
that's the second.
The recommendation.
Yeah, I know. The non-boater,
I
the
don't-
non-boater is going, what? Right, it's fine. The Purapino River. Anything we need to cover off now?
Right. Is that already open or is it
The,
the whole of the Purapino River? Is that already open?
Not
or
much change in that bit.
it's higher?
that the extent of that area is the same as what is current. So it does go from pretty much the source to the harbour.
Yeah,
That's existing.
yeah, I'm surprised about that.
Yeah.
No, we can't do anything about it now, but it's such a little river way up the source of it, you know, you can step across it. I don't know how you can find
We have mentioned hovercraft earlier.
It will be impressive.
What's the difference in those two maps?
Oh, there was just an error in the yellow line. It didn't have the white outline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought, I
Yeah,
couldn't
that
work
was
out
mentioned
whether it
first.
was longer or had an
Yeah,
extra
it's
wiggle.
more skinny because it's kind of
Yeah, right, good idea. I was going mad. Short trip. So the submitters. No. Yeah, that's going out anyway, isn't it? Oh, no. Oh, I say no, no.
No, it's
No,
already, it's
no.
already in place.
Yeah, so it's no change for that, right? Yeah. 2.9 is the Aparima, which will be covered off in Appendix C. Anything that's not covered off in Appendix C for that?
So the jet boating NZ submission on the seasonal. So we have currently in there from July to the 30th of September. They had requested from 1st of June to 30th of September for that existing stretch.
Okay. Because,
So I'll then go back to this.
sorry, I should have it in front of me, but I don't. Just in relation to the seasonal timings of things, I've got the change of climate in my head. In a kind of global, a broad sense, would we be expecting any seasonal changes that we need to anticipate in the timing
We hadn't considered seasonal in terms of flows and things like that, more seasonal in terms of activity.
Activities, right?
Yeah.
They also might change when we find that there are no ducks in the lanes. Across that bridge.
Yes, yeah, I'm conscious that the fishing game seasons do alter slightly each year.
Okay, so so June to say September. July. Okay, are we happy with that? Kit? The auditee will be consulted on. Anything that won't be consulted on?
Yes, I think there was quite a bit. Sorry, just open my document.
Yeah.
No, I'm just to clarify, the Aparima from the Thornbury Bridge to the Gunny's Bush Bridge or to the estuary, that's to be further consulted on, is it? Because we've got submissions today.
Oh, yes, so that lower part of the upper dam, yeah, that is covered under separately.
As well as the upper part right up to those
To
huts.
huts, yes, that's right, yeah.
Yes, that could be a bit contentious.
So if you go to under the Oreti River requests, the one that is covered under what we're doing today is the first one being from Ian Cochrane, allow for permanent speed uplift from Lumsden to Dipton. And that's sort of what I had discussed earlier about that new evidence that was supplied today. I believe he had some documents. We don't have access to those at the moment to assess that.
He's given us paper copies, but you'll need to circulate them to everybody anyway.
See anyway.
Not the that would hold on, sorry, let's have a look. The Appendix C covers from Mount Nicholas Road Bridge to the bridge near Lumsden and the lower part of the river from Wallistown to the Duns Road Bridge. The rest of the Reshi River is covered under what's existing, but requested changes to what we had proposed to the existing stretch.
It's likely that we include that in there.
So that's not, so the bit from the Lumsden Bridge to, I'm looking at page 62.
Yeah.
Conditions of use. What we're recommending is that the speed limits do not apply from, just from 1st of July to the 30th of September. Oh, yeah, no, that's right.
Yep, so that's that whole part, yeah, and then the extended uplift that already exists from Dipton to Winton.
So that's from October 1 year to the 31st of July the following year. Then what about from August and September? What happens then?
For
that bit between Dipton and Winton. Isn't that open all the time?
that was brought up in the submissions that people had thought that was open all the time. In the current bylaw, it's only those 10 months. So what's in the bylaw is the same as what's currently. I don't know the reason for that 2-month gap because it exists like that already.
I would have thought that if it was open from the 1st of October to the 31st of July the following year, there's no reason for it not to be open in August and September. And if somebody made a submission on that, I think we should support that.
I think, so from what I understand from the submissions, that's how it runs anyway. I just heard that this morning, of course.
So that might need to be clarified in that
Okay,
there, just to say that it was so all year.
okay, so we could make that change to the stretch between Dipton and Winton. We could put that in the bylaw.
Yeah, but it's only open in the summertime. I see no reason why it shouldn't be open there. Because most of the other
Yeah.
rivers are open in the winter time.
So permanent uplift between Dipton and Winton. Okay.
And that would be in the conditions of use.
Yeah. To,
On map 2.10.
that's right, yep.
Correct. So instead of B,
Yeah, just need to take out
you would
between those two dates, just say it's.
Yeah, yep, that part would just be
just
the red line through that.
take that out. You don't have to replace it with any other wording.
No, it would just stop at Winton.
Okay, that makes good sense to me. Yeah, right. Thank you. That's all right. That was helpful.
And then part of the further consultation relating to that is 25 fishing game between Lumsden and Osborne, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, it's
Yeah.
been accepted. in here.
Yeah,
So that'll be in the document for further consultation, is
Uh,
it? Because we want further consultation between,
between Mosman
if a
and
new
Lumsden.
uplift between Mosman and Lumsden is considered, manage potential between users, so the time frame.
Yes, so we did take that into
Did
account.
we put that in there?
Yep, so we did propose the seasonal, if that speed uplift between Mosman and London was accepted, we did propose that in the recommended wording. That fishing game submission.
Was it in
It's
here?
in
Oh, it's in here, but it's from the Mount Nicholas Road Bridge.
yep, so we just incorporate that whole area under the same, there's no uplift.
right. And none of this will be affected by the change we've just made.
I don't think so. Cool. Just, sorry, it's just, it's a
That's
big
okay.
long stretch of river and we're dealing with a few
It's
different
difficult, yeah,
documents here. So
We're
we're dealing
not
with this and also we have to revisit the consultation part because we're dealing with another part of the river. That's all. I'm-
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's cool. We don't want to make a change here and it doesn't apply to the.
Yeah.
consultation. So, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to confirm what the recommendation was for the permanent uplift between Lumsden and Dipton. That was, I don't think that was covered.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was brought up in submissions
Yes.
to treat
yeah.
it the same as. Was that right? To treat it the same as Dipton to Whitney? Why were there two?
Oh, got my location confused now. Say
Why
that
was-
again, Jess.
So I think the submitters asked why why it changed as soon as you got to the Dipton Bridge. You know, I mean, it was a demarcation line that they
Dipton,
felt was quite
north
odd.
of Dipton, south, which one?
Um,
Going up or down?
well, I'm actually looking at appendix C now.
Yeah.
So that
That
was-
is already in appendix C.
Okay.
Okay, so it's in appendix C.
Oh, perfect,
Further
yeah,
consultation. Okay,
okay,
that's
sorry
what I
about
need to-
that.
Downstream to Winton,
Yes.
downstream
Yes.
to Wallington Town. Yes,
So there we go, just what I was saying, it's,
Yeah,
we're
just-
talking about.
Yes, sorry about that.
especially when I
No, no.
don't visualise the places in my head, I forget which
Yeah.
ones are which.
Totally fine.
Thank
Right.
you, double picking is always good. So the conditions of use on page 65 for the lower OT, that's part of those changes for consultation anyway, isn't it?
The lower Ority River is not part of the,
Oh.
that's more the zoning
I mean, it
method.
is. I mean, it is.
So that came up today, it's about
Yeah.
the water ski club.
Oh, Bill? Oh, and the Wakaama.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Those
I mean,
changes make sense. Jet ski. Okay. Not fine, that's why we need a break in 4 minutes.
Are they net numbers not right now?
No,
It should be, 12, not 211.
Oh, yes, I see.
yeah, the
what you're
lower
saying.
is
And 9C, you've got only rowing, and we should include Waka Ama in it.
So to enable the Waka Ama, we didn't amend the area but the provision. So Waka Ama lease the old water ski club and up by the powerboat as well. So that they sort of take quite a bit of the area, but the rowing activity is similar. So with the change in the provisions, the clubs can use A, C, or D if those zones aren't being used for that certain activity, and that mixed zone enables that Waka Ama use as well.
So that's in the rules.
I'm wondering if these are placed in the definitions relating to Waka Ama. Whether that would solve any confusion. I think it's not necessary.
Something.
Yeah, well, we don't mention rowing, so why would we mention? We need a P. Oh no, hold on.
No,
Get my alphabets right.
how about it?
No, you don't think that inclusion of Waka Ama and
No.
rowing is necessary? That's right. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Good night.
You're going over the other side of the ring.
Keeping up with us. Right, we might do one more section, one more nip, and then we'll have a break. So the folder. Anything that's not. The themselves is on.
So similar to the other ones, the upper Matola and the lower Matola have are covered under the appendix C.
Yeah.
The requests. What isn't is the stretch and map 2.12
Mhm.
and the change to the seasonal uplift in response to the fishing game submission, where they provided those options.
And their preference was for option 2. With the split permanent uplift. We are on page 66 there, and fishing game
And also the
submission.
competition C.
Relating to the Matola River feed up. So I asked, don't have any. Being for the split, recognising that it was a bit more complicated.
That's all part of appendix C though.
Yeah. Yeah, so just making sure they are.
That one's not, so that option 1 provided by the fishing game is in reference to yes, that's right. So the Matola Bridge in Matola to Seaward Downs.
Yeah, so that's conditions of use B, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. There was a timing issue in one of these that I couldn't get my head around. Oh, that's
This one.
No, I can't remember.
Different
It only leaves a couple of months when it's not applicable.
For that stretch of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll just get this right. So all those actions for the Matara River.
Yeah.
Including from Fairlight down and the different options are all part of further consultation, aren't they?
Only the ones in red, so from Fairlight to the Blassa Bridge, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, and then the change from Seaward Downs to State Highway 92.
So just to be clear, actually, in the appendix C, the way it's printed out, the changes in the original are grey,
Yes,
but they're red on this one. So they're waiting on us to make them
Today.
black.
yes, that's right, yeah.
So do you get what I mean? So
Yeah.
in this version, that's the proposal from here.
That's what I sort of.
So we need
Trying
to,
to get
we
my
still
head
need
around
to
as
do
well.
that. Do you understand that?
Well, my understanding is that any changes to anywhere on the Matara River, except the bottom bit from the Gorge Road Bridge downstream,
It would, to the sea, yes, and from,
that's all open at the moment, and that's not going to change from Gorge Road 92 down to the sea. That's
permanent, yeah.
okay. But everywhere above there, there's different options for opening. The Jet Boat Club has asked for, and Fish and Game have been got concerned about. That's all of that's for further consultation, isn't it?
Only the part, so if we can't see from there to here is new, and then up to Fairlight, which would be consulted on. Again, this part here, that's for current, so that would be today.
So that there's, so that part is not open. That part of Matara is not open for,
Not,
except for notified events.
yes, the ones in appendix C, yes, that's correct, yes.
So the piece that we're discussing now is no different to the one we did previously in altering the months.
Yes, that's right,
Okay,
yes,
so
yeah,
this is just this bit here, which is not, we can make that change now without needing to go to public consultation, because that's just
just above the Seaward Downs
Yeah.
Bridge.
and it's just what we've done with the other months for the previous.
I'm happy with that. Better make some together.
Which one are you looking at? That's the staff. That's the staff.
So I've got the original recommendations and I've got the appendix C. The reason that appendix C has got that in light grey is because we can determine that now,
Oh, yeah, okay.
like we have just done with the other previous,
Tower Bridge down to Seaward Downs Bridge.
which is in response to Fish and Game's request for option 2. Gone from super cold to super heated.
Well,
It's not just me.
So, I'm looking on appendix C, conditions of use, C1.
Yep.
1st of July of any year to 30th of April. You've got September underlined.
That's that.
here.
Yes, that's that change there, look. Yep. And the grey bit
And
on appendix C is waiting for us to say yes or no to the bit in red over here.
Well, that means then this area, which is from the Matara Bridge downstream to the Seaward Down Bridge,
And that's the
would be open from the 1st of July of any year to when, either April or September, what is it?
If we, staff recommendation is September.
30th of September.
The following year.
And 1st of November, the 30th April. So you'd have May and June of any year not, and October. Correct. Yes.
Yes.
What, well, I don't think Fish and Game or it's supporting that, I think.
Yep, that was their second option.
Second part,
June,
second option.
June to September and November to April.
No.
So slightly different months, but oh no, 1st of September, April. Yeah.
June.
Oh, they said June, we said July. Yes. Any reason why we say July and they say June?
That was to account for drift shooting activity. that
Ah,
happens.
correct.
Yeah.
That's in October. So Fish and Game supported, what you asked Jacob?
Yeah, I
Jacob
did,
options
and he said
preferred.
their preference was option 2,
Yeah.
even though they realised
Yeah.
it was a bit untidier than option 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, 30th of April, so that doesn't interfere with the duck shooting season, but there's limited fishing in there at that time. Except for October. Okay, I think I understand that now. Oh, well, if that's what Fish and Game are happy with, I suppose we should go with that option 2 then. C2.
But we've altered it to 1st of July instead of 1st of
June.
June.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
For the reasons given.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, and the staff
Yeah, the
recommendations.
conflict, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First,
Okay.
I'd
So,
have thought, put them,
we will accept that staff recommendation.
Is that B2?
Yeah, with B2.
and A will cross out, which is,
Yeah.
Not B1.
Bananas and pajamas. Right, I think it now is a good time for us to take a wee
I'm
break.
sorry.
Oh,
there was,
sorry. Oh,
There was just one more request
Oh.
from Jet Boating NZ underneath
Oh, yes.
that fishing game one, changing that seasonal uplift. It's in relation to condition of use A.
hmm,
is it in here?
hmm. Is that? hmm,
So what that's saying is that, they're different things.
Yeah. You'd think I hadn't read any of them before.
Oh, no, it's just complete.
Oh, I'm happy with the staff recommendation on those, actually. I'm going for a new seasonal. That's the
The last
appendix
one.
B, anyway, yeah.
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 He's going to consult us, don't they?
Not the one above that.
No, the Ardless Bridge.
That's right.
Oh, to Matera Bridge.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
I remember that. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not in favour of that.
No, we don't want to be going with that.
No. Right. That covers.
It does. Yeah.
Okay. Let's adjourn for 10 minutes. See you back here at 3:20. You might get home for dinner. Or you might not. I'm going out for dinner, so you will be home for dinner.
Is the cameras off?
We hit that
You, there's one more.
That's right, isn't it?
Right, thank you folks, welcome back. Do part, I don't know what of the navigational safety bylaw hearing draft. We are up to Freshwater River and the staff recommended amendments.
Under Schedule 5, it's like way down the bottom of the bylaws.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So over here further
On another one, yeah.
on plans, Schedule 5. It's the code of practice for Freshwater River and Apia River. And staff have recommended amendments as per
Down. Yeah. On page 75.
So this is a couple of pages over from where we were.
You'll see the red.
Yes, it's here.
Ah,
Second landing and with upper landing and first landing with lower landing,
okay.
Yeah. which makes way more sense to me, being a not familiar with the area person. But is that actually in your?
Is there any? Page 75,
Oh, over here there is that on that one as well. Duh. Yes, I knew I'd seen it somewhere. Thank you. Okay, there. Okay. Tick that off then. Thank you. Back a page. The speed lifts, uplifts in other areas. Not schedule 3.
This was it to me.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I did skip that. Sorry. Sorry. I do know the bylaw.
I completely understand. Yeah.
Part of
The
schedule.
John Carter
Yes.
submission. Yes.
So where is that in the
That
original
Well, it's-
recommendations?
in reference to Lake Te Anau, but it's not
Ah,
within the bylaw. It was more as a separate concern.
Yeah.
So it's not in the document.
It was the only one that raised that issue.
yeah.
So his concern is really more about, from what I gather, is that previously we had held the Bull Bike Club, the marathon inside. Well, we gave them the ability to be able to apply for a temporary speed uplift, just in case weather related, they had to go inside the 200-metre mark. But the last 2 years we've said no, won't allow that anymore. Speed uplifts. So I think it's a busy shoreline, and I think there's you have all the commercial activities going on around there. You got wings over water.
I know exactly where it was. My concern about a 200-metre float sitting at about 110 around there. So
And perhaps in our response, perhaps it's actually a conversation with the people who are running the events that he needs to have with us.
And John, he is regular contact with ourselves and the marine bio team, so you can have that conversation.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, thank you.
So the others under other areas have been dealt with anyway, haven't they? Verified speed limits around swimmers, no speed uplifts anywhere. And the Jet Boating New Zealand's seasonal speed lift on the Mararoa.
In the Waikaia.
Where is that from here? Is that coming off in the appendix C?
Yes.
And the Matara. And the Waikaia. Yeah, so that's all appendix C, right? Sorry, asking again, just so that I'm sure.
Okay.
Right, general comments then. Or that we've got second.
I'll just ask about Commission Games questions.
Sure.
Question there, 025 submission says, Commission Game notes that the regional council did not consult with it on the proposed bylaw before public notification, including speed uplifts, etc. Is that, are we required to do that?
No, obviously pre-consultation is a great thing to do. We had some other pre-consultation that we were required to do with maritime and said that we had to give priority to.
Yeah.
But this further consultation can aid in as well, so they can provide submissions on those new matters.
Yeah, so the Schedule C ones, they'll be
Oh, yes.
obviously be able to comment on that.
Is it? That's right, yes. Yeah.
And I did ask Lyndon about the first up this morning. In response to that was should have been cleared to them and they were in the room.
Okay.
Which one am I going on? This one, Schedule 3, the prohibited anchorages. There's nothing new in there. And they are obviously working because nobody's said anything. Schedule 4, same. And Schedule 5 was just done as far as Rapiura Stewart. I'll go to the page that says end. So that's what I've worked through pretty much. Right. What do we need to do next?
The last three recommendations, 11, 12 and 13.
Yes, let me find that shuffled piece of this. Noting that there are quite a few layout and grammatical issues, opportunities. I don't want to go through those here. And I'm assuming it's appropriate one or t'other of us sit down and
Go for our capable staff here. Check it out.
Yes.
Make sure everything's right.
yes, and I do have a kind of a list, but I got a bit tired driving too. So if you're comfortable with any of us just sending that through, yeah, I don't want you to get 3 different versions. So perhaps if you've got anything, send it to me and I'll send it.
I couldn't find much actually. I will go through.
Just with those new maps and things, there's a wee bit of
On appendix C.
yeah,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and B as well, actually.
Okay.
Number.
And none of it is major and none of it affects the intent or the meaning, they're just things. So if you've got anything, either of you, just send them to me and then I'll try to do my best to collate them and send them on.
Yeah, thank you.
So we've got 4 more recommendations to consider. Oh, 3, because we've done 6. As far as Appendix C going for further consultation. You'll have to help me out with the next ones because for some reason I'm not computing what they all mean. So recommendation 7 is to recommend to council that it determine that the draft navigation safety bylaw, subject to the recommendations set out in Appendix A, submission analysis and staff recommendations, is the most appropriate form. And then 8 is the Local Government Act and legal requirements, correct?
Guidance both 7 and 8 are the local government
Oh,
requirements.
through that,
Yeah.
okay. And 9 be adopted subject to the recommended amendments.
That's the recommendations were, I suppose, subject to change depending on your recommendation to the council on the further consultation matters. So that number 9.
So that number 9 will be what we do after the
In
next.
future,
one.
that's right,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you, I was. Okay, so chaps, we agreed that recommendation 7 and 8 can be adopted.
Yes.
That's the right word. Great. So that's 7 and 8.
Yep.
Adopted, recommended.
I'll move that.
Thank you.
The second bit.
Thank you. Aye.
Right. Aye.
Is there anything else that we need to do with 3 minutes? Maybe some idea of the, do you have any idea of the consultation period for Appendix C?
So we would do the same, the Local Government Act says it's about 30 days or 4 weeks. So it would be the same as what we've previously done.
So when?
When would that start? Well, it would depend on your council dates and things. I don't know when the next council meeting is, then you can make the recommendation.
Next week. Is it next week or the week after? Next week, next Wednesday, but it won't be ready for then.
No.
Until June. We haven't got a paper on there.
Yeah.
Likely to be the June.
Oh, how rude. Until the 29th. Need to be the next one.
Yeah. The June meeting is
The 10th of
10th of June.
June.
It would be ready to go for consultation immediately after that. though,
Yes,
Right?
yes, yeah,
Provided the council
that's right.
adopt our recommendations.
Yeah.
If they didn't,
Always here.
If they didn't, we would reconvene the hearing and those decisions on those 10 matters, which you would make the recommendation
we'll
based on.
just do that then.
Yes,
After
yeah.
the 24th of June.
Well, yes. But if council didn't accept that we needed further consultation, we need a B plan, right?
If they didn't,
Okay. So then we're looking at 4 weeks, 30 days from eventually the 10th of June. And consultation will close, say, July, it's about the 8th of July. And you would need some time to compile, etc.
yes, that would depend on, I suppose, how many submissions were received and the scale of the evidence that they provide.
So could we aim for the end of July
Yes.
latest? Feels like it's taken a year to that point just about, has it? Yeah. I think that would be helpful for Lyndon, apart from anybody else who's got to do the thinging. Are you all right with that? The end of July, sometime for
I
a
think
hearing?
that's- looking timeline.
That last week of July, maybe, if we can aim for that. I won't have forgotten by then. The other option actually, and I So I don't mean to prolong the afternoon, but the other option, councillors, is that we take part of the bylaw to council for approval, excluding the appendix C stuff. I'm giving you that option. Personally, I don't think that's very helpful.
No, I don't. I think that's just going to muddy the waters.
I think so. But I'm giving you the option to choose it if you wish.
I do have one other question.
Sure.
Should we have a field trip to look at some of these sites? We're looking at the upper Hakarima, the upper Mataura, the upper Reti. Long way to go, I know. Parts of the Mataura. So would that help? I mean, I'm quite familiar with those areas, but I need to get your volleys on.
All right, I've got good voice. Would we cover some of it off in the councillor field trip?
That's just up the Reti, it's not really the lower Reti.
It'll be the lower part.
We're going to be making a decision after consultation, so it's just an understanding trip you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Give us more of an understanding.
Mm.
and a resource consent hearing, you would do a site visit. I don't feel like I need one because actually I think maybe my outside eyes on it isn't harmful.
Yeah.
So I start with you recommend we have a visit.
I personally think some independence and clarity is to have the knowledge that we have currently and inform it even more before or during consultations. Sure, we're talking about areas of the region that we may not be totally knowledgeable about, but we are talking about region safety.
I think, yeah, I mean, the advantage of me not necessarily knowing the area as well is that if I could look at the bylaw and say, well, I understand I'm new to this area and I want to do this thing up there, I understand what the bylaw tells me I can and cannot do. I'm okay, but if somebody happened to be going to a beautiful part of the region, then I could easily take it off.
And to that point, looking at something today is not how it would be used, or the condition it would be used in next week.
Yeah.
So it may give you a predetermination of the yay nay situation because of the condition of that day.
Yeah.
To my mind, that's to my mind.
Yeah. No, I
Okay.
if somebody's going, and I'm available, then maybe I could go.
Well, yeah, well, actually, what Paul said is quite important. If you go to the Reti at Mount Nicholas Bridge and the river's in a high flow, not a major flood, but high flow, you might look at it and say, oh, you're right,
Yep.
to go to boating. But if you were to go there when it was very low, and that's not likely to be in February or March, then you might have a different opinion. So it might just
Yeah.
confuse.
Okay, so no, there's no need. With that,
Did you
I'll
want to say something, Linda?
I was just going to say it's I hear what Councillor Rodway's saying, and it's a bit of a dependent on weather at the time, isn't it?
yeah.
Yes.
But there's,
And,
Sorry,
and I think
no,
operators will probably take that into consideration anyway.
well, I would hope so.
Right about them.
Okay. With that, I will thank everybody for their patience today and their contributions. And we will adjourn the hearing until we get direction from full council as to the consultation for Appendix C. If that goes ahead, then we will reconvene in late July. Anything else?
I want to thank you all for the hard work and also the submitters coming in,
Yeah, actually, I was
collating this.
It was great to hear from the community boards. Actually, that's
Yeah.
a nice opportunity for interaction. So it's good. Morris, did you want to say? Thank you, team. We are adjourned.